Exit Wounds is a deep recounting of the experiences and realities of Black men in today's world. It is shown how social stereotypes have repressed Black men by creating invisible and irreparable wounds that last a lifetime, which leads us questioning the balance between what is seen as justice and social imbalance. The socially entrenched prejudices have a significant impact on the self-esteem, motivation, and pride of Black men. So please join my co-host Chris and I, and our welcome guest Daryl Barnes from All Things Black Podcast, Therapist Earnell McGaney, as we embark on this 5-part miniseries from a Black man's perspective on how the world looks at us through the look of eyes. All right, welcome back to the miniseries Exit Wounds. I'm the host Markis with Chris, along with Chris through the looking glass. And this is our third episode. Welcome back. We have a nice little panel with Mr. Earnell, the Wildcat Therapist, Mr. Darren, Blackovation. This is Blackovation, and we're going to get started. Today we're going to talk about a little bit, go into like fatherhood. So we're going to let everybody go around and check in with everyone. Let us know how you're doing, what's going on with you, and we'll get started. Start off with Mr. Blackovation.
Man, I went first to last. No, I'm just kidding. Hey everyone, this is Daryl, Mr. Blackovation, host and producer of the All Things Black podcast. I'm feeling well, man. Very productive week last week. Things firing on all cylinders. A little bit exhausted though. That comes with the territory. But now you had a question for me. You wanted me to kind of just jump right into it, or were we just asking about, how we feel?
Yeah, no, it's just a mental check-in, seeing how everybody doing.
Gotcha. No, I'm well, man. I'm anything above 6 feet is good, brother. So
So then now we can go ahead to Earnell. How you been doing?
Man, I've been doing pretty good, man. Staying busy, trying to stay out of trouble as much as possible. But I got to kind of agree with Daryl, Woke up this morning, so I have no need to complain. But now everything's going great. And happy to be back.
And then I say myself, man, I mean, I've been telling anybody that I can talk to, man, this is probably the best I've felt, like mentally, physically, in a whole lot of time. Like I've done the whole month of April doing like a juice fast cleanse. And man, I just feel so good, just clear-headed, you know what I'm saying, working out more, getting outside, going to the gym every day, just like, so I just tell everybody, man, why you smiling? Like, look, man, I'm just happy. I don't remember the last time I've been this happy. So I'm telling you, man, I tell everybody, get your head right.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's good. I'm doing well. I'm doing basically kind of like what Chris said, man. I'm working out more, getting my mojo back a little bit, a little happier than most. Always smiling, ready to go, ready to dive into these mini series we got. Hopefully, we have a good session and get started, man. So, what I want to address is fatherhood, and what does that? To me, what it looks like, it's just basically how, because we are all role models, we are all the fathers on this platform, and whether we are, distant fathers or when I say distant, I mean like divorced or separated, or just have children, outside, outside that we have. Just wanted to address, what father is and what it looks like, in the society and how it should look. So, Earnell, how you want to come in with that, man? What you feel like fatherhood is like, man?
Man, that's a deep one, man. Fatherhood can look like a lot of things, but what I try to do is I try to narrow it down into just basically what parenthood will look like. But, for me, fatherhood, motherhood, whatever you want to call it, basically my job is to prepare you to be able to survive this world without me, to be able to navigate it. If I die tomorrow, you can survive, you can navigate it. So obviously for me, that's kind of what fatherhood looks like. I'm there to support you. I'm there to love you. I'm there to hold you accountable. I'm there to prepare you to be able to navigate this horrible, I want to say horrible, this cruel world, if I should have to leave. So if I do that, I feel like I've done my role as a father.
Yeah, like for is I mean it's the best thing ever. Like man, I love being a father. Like I mean it's just like the small things, like just see all the time with my kids, just talking to them about different things and just wanting to like make sure I'm leading them. They could make the right decisions and then not have to go through some of the struggles that I've been through. So it's like, hey, like just learn from my mistakes, learn from the things that I've done, and then you can just improve on that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, to me, I got 4 kids, and I got 3 males and 1 female. So to me, I'm their biggest role model to my sons. I feel, and, so how I go through everyday life and how I address things, I want to be able to prepare them in the same way, not to do what I did, but to do it better than how I did. So me with fatherhood is like what Earnell was saying, it's like I want to leave you better, once I'm gone, I want to feel like I did, my best to put you in a situation or to guide you, to give you an idea of what it is like to be a man, a father, or a husband, at the end of the day. And as well as like for my daughter, and we all, I think everybody got daughters. I don't want to say. You just want to be able to show them how they're supposed to be treated,
right,
on day in and day out. So to me, fatherhood is like it's everything. It's a gift. It's a gift. There's some guys out here that can't have kids, So fatherhood it's a gift from God, man. I feel like it's something that you have to cherish, and it's a huge responsibility. That's how I feel. Daryl, any comments?
Yes, sir. All y'all killed it. Earnell started it off and said it right. So I really don't know how else to answer that.
Yeah.
Except for just an observation. Fatherhood is, in this society, one of the most underrated positions that how can I put it? But it's really underrated, right? And the reason I say that is because it's not celebrated in the way that I think it should be celebrated, because all you guys talked about foresight, right? All of you talked about foresight. All of you talked about the furtherance of your children into the next, into the next generation or the next step, right? All of you guys talked about that. And that is incredibly powerful for each one of us to have, because every father has that in them to further, or they want to further, or have the capabilities to further their children on past beyond them after they are no longer on the planet. So it's a heavy position. And due to the buffoonery of, TV shows and some movies and stuff like that, cast fatherhood in a very comical and very lighthearted position. Fatherhood doesn't really get the station that it's supposed to have, right? Fatherhood should definitely be celebrated. And it's just one of those things, man, where it gets the short end of the stick. And again, I hate to be repetitive, but it really gets the short end of the stick. But if you ask any father, every father just about, especially those that are involved in their children's lives, they want to see their children and be extended beyond them. And when a father begins to see his end, he wants to know whether or not if he's done enough to be able to further his children on past him? Did he impart enough wisdom? It's just not about the monetary stuff. Did he impart enough wisdom? Did he impart enough knowledge? Did he impart enough love, right? Did he impart enough discipline? All of these different factors carry heavy on the shoulders of a man, because again, that position is a heavy position. It's a very, very heavy position. I don't want to get biblical, but hell, you can even read in the scriptures where it talks about father, right? Father is a very, very heavy title, man. Yep. And I just hate the fact that it doesn't get the you know, the accolades and the appreciation that it should get. You know, it's a very heavy position. Not only that, not only are you taking care of your children, you're taking care of your family in totality. So, but I'll just leave it there. That's something that I wanted to say. But all you guys hit it right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a incredible responsibility. I think as fathers, you're a visionary. And you see, I know we have the mothers or whatever, they raise, help raise and everything like that. But I feel that we have a special responsibility as far as like guiding our children into the direction that we feel that they should go. Because a lot of the time, when I've seen it, when fathers plays a role in a perfect role in their child's life, and I'm not gonna say perfect, but plays a good role in their child's life, that they tend to follow in their footsteps. And whether it's like coaching football, whether it's like firemen or going into the army and stuff like that, and we've all seen it. Where my dad was this, so I'm gonna be this. And it's like, and we're just a living guide to them. And it kind of want to, just like for me to challenge myself, and I'm asking myself, like, am I living what I preach? So it's like, and when I think about that question, I'm like, I'm trying. Mm-hmm. It's not like I'm not perfect. And I'm trying to show, do the right thing, because I'm being pretty vulnerable. I'm divorced. My kids are 2.5 hours away. I got a 16-year-old, 13, a 10, and a 6-year-old. And for me, I'm still learning how to properly address my kids, because I've been in a home for a while, but then now it's like the last couple of years, it's like I got to make the best decisions to try to still have an impact on my kids' life, and which I feel like I still do, because I do a lot of things with them. I help through the summer, through phone and everything like that. So I try enough, do enough to be and give a presence, because it's not all about monetary, mm-hmm. because that presence is real, because it is real. So my question to you guys, do you feel that you're, living what you preach?
I'll go. I would say for me, for the most part, in my journey in becoming a father and being a father, that yes, I would say that. If you would ask my children, they would actually say the same. Mm-hmm. Even though my children are older, they still lean heavily on me, mm-hmm. To extract information from me. Like they'll come and ask me questions, right? Because they found that they can depend on my level of wisdom or whatever level of knowledge that I have. Mm-hmm. Come to me with questions that they might not even ask their mother. Yeah. Right. So I would say, yeah, I had a significant impact, even though it was some rough terrain that I had to navigate, mm-hmm. for trying to stay consistent, in their lives and stuff like that. Was some rough terrain that I had to navigate. Mm-hmm. But just trying to stay as consistent as possible and show up as much as I possibly could really left an imprint on them. And like I said, they know they can always call me, mm-hmm. and just have a real insightful and delightful conversation. Sometimes, especially with my daughter, it extends over, past like the hour mark or so. It's just really, chewing the fat and and just having that connection that we should have. Fathers are stewards, man. We're stewards. Actually, every parent is a steward.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to shepherd your child in a way, man, that allows them to that avenue to grow, right? Along with the protection piece and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you're definitely a steward. But I would say for me, for a large part, yeah.
I would say sometimes, because sometimes I do get out of pocket, and I have two little girls, and they seem to remember everything, and they'll call me on it. But one thing I will do is when they do call me on it, I own up to it. I'll be accountable for my actions. So I feel like that's teaching them something. Like, you know what, you're right, I was wrong here. And I'll sit and I'll talk to them. I explain it to them. What I was actually doing, what happened, so they'll understand. I think a lot of us grew up with parents, well, don't ask me this, because I said so. And as kids, what do? We go ahead and find the answers for ourselves. Maybe not, the best way to do it. And it's not always the right answers we found, but taking the time, to talk to your kids, it makes a huge difference. So I'll take the time, those times when I am out of pocket and they call me on it or catch me on it, I'll sit and talk to them and explain it to them. And just from doing that, kind of like Daryl said, they know they can come to me, and I'll be honest with them. And that teaches them to be honest. So that's something they practice. And I've noticed, since I started doing that and stopped doing what my parents used to do because I said so, they have started to be more honest with, the things they do. Well, why did you do that? And, I'll get an honest answer versus, a lie to cover it up because they're worried about getting in trouble. So, I don't always, live, what I preach, but, I own up to it and I'm accountable for it. And I explain that to them.
Yeah. And I'll follow that up with, I would say I'm getting better at it. Like I said, I have a set of twins, 10-year-old boy and girl. So it's like I can't treat both of them the same way. And my son, he always says, well, you let Gia get away with everything, but you won't let me do this and that. And I have to sit there and talk to him and tell him, like, hey, this is why. And he understands it a little bit. I don't want to say he understands it more now than what he was maybe like 3-4 years ago, but he doesn't agree with it. But then also when it comes to my daughter, I'm like, when I talk to her, like I think somebody else said, like, want to show her, hey, this is how you should be treated. But then also this is how you should act. And so it's like we would, plan like daddy-daughter dates and take her out and then just let her know, hey, this is like how this is how you should be treated. And then this is also how you should act. And then with my son, just let him know, hey, look, man, I know at times you want to hit your sister or do this and do that, but nah, like that's not what we do. And it's other ways to do it and just knowing how to do it. So I know with me, it's just finding that balance, having the both sides of it, the son and daughter, same age. And I see that, I hear them now when they're talking on the phone with their friends, and then just trying to just navigate that the right way, just make sure they're going down the right path.
Yeah, I agree, man. Because I treat my boys way different than I treat my daughter. I ain't gonna lie. I still, she's 5'5", and I still pick her up. So yeah, I'm saying I pick up my 6-year-old too, but he's 7 now, but I pick him up too. But I'll pick my daughter up probably, if she'll have me pick her up or hold my hand, whatever. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it while I can get it. You know what I'm saying? Because them girls, they need their dad's love, I feel. And them sons, they need strong love, but also gentle, because you got to let them know that you can have a soft side, being a man, because you can't, I say you can't be stern. You can be stern, but yet fair.
Right. Yeah.
And not, and not be so, so like gun ho on, it's just like, because I found myself, because I know I could tell in my kids, I want them to have emotion. I don't want them to be emotionless, because that's how I was. so it's like, it's good to show emotions, man. It's good. It's like, express yourself. tell me what, you know what I'm saying? I allow them to talk about the issue instead of like yelling at them and not allow them to call, you know, because that's, to me, that's a big part of fatherhood, man. It's like trying to raise these guys and these female and these ladies in you know, in the right way, man, in the right direction. And
no, I hear what you say, man, because you know, even my son, you know, him being, you know, a full-grown adult, you know, there's always, you know, hugs and stuff like that. I tell him I love him. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And you know, you're surprised at how far that goes. You know, and how much they absorb that, and that that's kind of a introduction for them to receive any other information that you would impart on them. That's what I was talking about earlier on the last one. Like when you impart it, when you have to give them something or give them something that might be like look like a form of discipline or something like that, it's more palatable for them to take it because you've already laid the groundwork for them to receive it, and that's because you've shown them some kind of emotional love. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I know for me, I explain myself more. Then, like if I do something now, I explain myself more why I did it and how, you know, how they did it, and this is why you got this. Instead of like, you know, and it works out a little bit. It works out better when they understand what they did and why, you know, why they were punished the way they were. But you know, and I think it's somewhat as a disconnect in some areas of how, you know, being fatherhood and how it is in society. And I think, you know, Daryl was saying like how it's like we the underdogs, you know, in some situations, you know, because it's a world filled with absent fathers, you know, absent families. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough fathers out there, and I give shout out to the stepdad or you know, who stepped in that role when their child doesn't had at the good ones. I ain't gonna say all of them, but the good ones, because you can still be in the house and not be a father.
True.
You know, so you know what I'm saying? You know, the absentee fathers, and like, you know, is there any type of disconnect y'all feel like it's between, you know, what society wants us to be and who we really are?
Well, I would say, I think it's not even, I think for us, they put a lot of the spotlight on either one, the absent fathers, or let's say the deadbeat dads. They put the spotlight on that. But it's like when you have, let's say, 4 guys like us, 4 dads that's just taking care of business, like making sure our kids are okay, then it's almost like, oh well, you're supposed to do that. Like, why are we gonna give you a pat on the back? You're supposed to take care of your kids. And it's like, we're not looking for any type of gratification but at least let's put a spotlight, let's uplift those dads. And I can tell you about a time I was with my son, we was out at a restaurant and we was just sitting there talking, and it was another black guy, and he looked at me and he said, hey man, he said, I see what you're doing. And he said, I love to see that. He said, I love to see black dads out here. He didn't know me, I didn't know him, just had a quick conversation. And across the walkway, it was a young black lady. She then yells, hey, well, no, don't tell him that. He just don't give him no credit for doing that. And we looking at her like, yo, he wasn't like, he was just, hey man, I see what you're doing. That's it. Like, you ear hustling, and now I ain't gonna say you mad, but why you getting on him for he just like, know what I'm saying, telling me, hey man, just giving me a little bit of recognition. And she just went off on us, and we just looking at her like, like, come on now. It's like, I wasn't going out there with a sign saying, hey, look, I got my son, I'm out with my son. Like, hey, I'm just out just doing normal stuff. And he recognized that, and she felt some type of way because he gave me some recognition. So I think that's what we need more of, is the active fathers getting that recognition and then giving the recognition to each other.
I mean, that goes into that brotherhood, accountability, and like that. And I feel like that lady was hurt. Somebody hurt her. And I feel like
I mean, well, I can go in a little bit more of that, but I'm just gonna say I don't want to get off tangent. But
And I don't want to get off tangent either, but I would have doubled down right in front of it. I don't give a damn. You damn right, brother. You're gonna get some acknowledgement.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna appreciate you for being a father and doing the things that you are doing. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I feel some kind of way about that because we should be acknowledged. I'm sorry, bar none, for being the fathers, being in our children's lives to whatever degree that we are in their lives. Start acknowledging that and get away from the narratives of the deadbeat dads and the pookies and all these other kind of different damn people. It's time to start giving the balance, man. I talk about that all the time. That rubs me the wrong way when I hear that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let that man be acknowledged for doing what he's doing. If somebody sees him, he's out with his children, he's feeding them, he's wiping their nose, whatever the case may be. Acknowledge that because we don't get enough of that. It's time out for these damnable images that people put out about fathers in general, Black fathers specifically, that we're no good and we're not in our children's lives. I'm sick of that. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, because it's I think, yeah, because we like Chris was saying, like it's amplified. The absentee father, the deadbeat father is amplified. I mean, it's amplified on I feel like it's amplified a lot on TV. And it's like somebody, your dad wasn't here, you grow up, be the sports star or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying? And I seen like some skits where they'd be like, it was a skit, it was funny. And it was like, they was looking at the kids and was asking questions, where your daddy at? And then he said, I don't got no daddy. Oh, we need him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is that? I mean, single parent, kid, that's what's your go-to for the athlete. He got a shoulder, he got a chip on his shoulder, so he's gonna ball out.
It sells more.
He ain't got no daddy.
It sells more.
Yeah.
It sells more. You can buy.
But then I also say, so you got this, and then you have the dads that's active. Now I would say the dads that's active, then they kind of get looked at a certain way because it's like, well, you're too involved. Like, look at Joe Jackson, Richard Williams, and LeVar Ball. And if you look at those three Black dads, you got Joe Jackson, who father of probably the greatest entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson, as well as his other kids were great singers, actresses, actors, entertainers as well. You got Richard Williams, two of the best athletes all time, tennis players in Venus and Serena. And then they always talk about how he was too involved. And then you have LeVar Ball. He had 3 sons playing the NBA, and they was like, well, he's hurting their chances of playing because he's too involved. So it's like, how can you get on dads for not being there? But then you have dads just acting now, you're too involved, you hurting your kids' chances. And it's like, come on, man, like, come on, man, which way is it? Like, how can you be not involved and that's a black eye? But now you have these dads that's involved, and look at what they were able, those dads that was involved, look what they was able to produce. Look who their kids turned out to be. But yet they look at the dads and say, oh, not saying that they're a bad father, but just saying, hey, well, the way they went at it, maybe it was a little unorthodox, but look, man, the proof is in the results.
Yes, sir.
I see what
he said that one. That's a whole word right there.
Oh yeah, but look at all 3 of those fathers and look how the media pushed them to the background.
Yeah,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because you see the moms and everything like that, but they pushed them to the background. You don't hear nothing about LeVar Ball no more. 3 ball of brain. You don't hear nothing about that no more. You hear nothing about what he did, or what I'm saying, how they portrayed in these movies and everything like that. They pushed them to the background, and they were Black. You know what I'm saying? So
influence,
like you said, like Daryl was saying, what you said, it sells.
Yeah, that whole idea that I'm gonna hold that for no. I'm not gonna say what I'm about to say. Will probably send some people off, but anyway, I'm not gonna say that part.
Man, set them off.
Set the people off.
But the thing is, man, is that influence is a very heavy thing. I was talking to somebody the other day, man, about your image currency. right? A lot of us still don't understand what image currency is. When you go outside your door and we kind of mentioned this on the last show. I just didn't say the name image currency, but how you represent yourself is a form of currency in the world. If you go out in the streets and you are ill prepared to go out into these streets and you're dressed, you know, provocatively or whatever the case may be, or like a bum, your pants are hanging off your behind. People are going to believe that is who you are, bar none. I don't care what you say out of your mouth. It's how you represent yourself. So there's an image currency, right? A lot of people understand what that is, and they do it the whole time, right? And with those 3 black men that you mentioned, that was image, right? And so if that began to catch fire, right, with a lot of other black men and black, that are parents, that would become a problem because it cuts into that narrative that black men are not involved, that black men are not powerful, black men can't shape their children in the way that they would go out to the world and be intellectual giants or sport giants or whatever the case may be. We're supposed to be shiftless, non-productive, and all these other things that they align us with, right? It was too powerful. King Richard was too powerful. I love that movie, by the way, with Will Smith.
Yeah,
it was a great movie.
Too powerful of a man. Just also LeVar Ball, too powerful, right? And they have to find a way to cut into that. So that's the whole thing. And I hope, when people listen to this, man, they just take it, they just really digest what we're trying to say, and just look at it for what it is and do your research.
That's it. I just feel like, and that's a whole nother topic, what Daryl was saying. And I think it's gonna look forward to talking about it in the next episode, and dig on it a little bit more about that. And I just because like you said, it is a disconnect, between what is a real father and what a father should be, and the difference between, not because they act like they don't want the father there in this society. Saying they want that whole
or to minimize the impact of the father.
Yeah, minimize the impact. And I want to go into some other stuff, like far as like the whole government system and everything. But I'm like, it's just like,
you're right.
How they, want to take us out of the system and allow the government to take care of it.
Single parent homes are good for business.
Yes, sir. Section 8 is real, but okay. But I feel like we dug in this and we talked about it, and fatherhood is it's a beautiful thing when it comes together, man. And when you got the right men and black men at that's standing in the gap, and of a father, being a father and trying to be a father, just not don't be deterred. If you got issues with baby mama and everything like that, still do your thing as best you can, as far as like, fathering that child and, getting the information to them. What would you guys, what y'all get from this, or as far as like wrapping it up and telling me, about fatherhood, what you feel, is the best solution to doing the work and being the best that you can. Go ahead, Earnell.
I was just gonna say, it kind of goes back, that our first topic, brotherhood, kind of leaning on each other, to learn how to be better fathers. Come with any instruction manual, and like, Chris and Daryl and everybody was saying, like, society has, their own idea of, what we're supposed to look like, but especially as Black fathers. So just connecting with other Black fathers, us, holding each other accountable, learning from each other, going back to that brotherhood topic, learning how to be better fathers and promoting each other, to be good fathers.
Gotcha. Good.
I'll just say, like I said, let's start giving each other the recognition that we deserve. So like I said, if you see a father out with their kids. Just giving the acknowledgement. Doesn't have to be old or boy. Just, hey, look, man, I see what you're doing. That's a good job. You know what I'm saying? Give them a pound, you know what I'm saying? Thumbs up, high five, or whatever. But just giving them that recognition. Because I know the times when it's given to me, I know how it makes me feel. And I know that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna pass that along to the next man as well. So I mean, like I said, if it can make me feel good and make my day, then I want to make the next person day as well. So just giving the recognition to the dads.
Yeah.
And I second that, man. I mean, Chris couldn't have said it better. You know, that's exactly what needs to be, have happened. And, find your support groups. Everybody else has support groups. Get into your support groups. Get with like-minded fathers, man, that even if they don't get the recognition in their home for being, fathers and doing the best that they can or doing greater than that, then we should definitely, like Chris said, man, start acknowledging each other when we see us out with our children and whatnot. Just not just straight up acknowledge it. Everybody else does it. It's time for us to start doing it as well as Black men. It doesn't make you anything other than a father that's acknowledging another father, right? So just go ahead and just do it, man.
And we don't see that a lot. So I mean, let's start doing it more. I think you all are great fathers.
You're trying.
Yeah.
There you go.
Put it in the atmosphere. Speaking. This has been a good episode. I think we all covered a lot of good stuff. And this will come out from Mexico, the last miniseries. And we have by the way, there. Let us know how we can get to you.
I am I'm the host and producer of the All Things Black podcast. No recent episodes, but there's a ton of information that you can partake of. Some very great interviews with some very great guests on the show. I am going to start here really soon to start to do the All Things Black podcast shorts. Just going to be some very, very incremental, very small, but informative bits where people can just listen to, and hopefully they can get something substantive from that.
Oh man, just Google me, baby. No, just look me up. You can Google me. You can go on Psychology Today. First name, last name, Earnell McGating. I'll pop right up. That's usually where you can find me.